All right, folks, coming up on Roland Unfiltered for Friday, February 8th, 2019, another woman comes forward claiming she was raped by Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax when they were students at Duke University. Her lawyer says there is contemporary corroboration. Fairfax has fired back, saying this is absolutely unsubstantiated and he will not resign. We'll break it down with our panel. Meanwhile, Virginia Governor Ralph Northam is digging in and is likely to survive the racist blackface photos in his medical school yearbook. Y'all got to hear about the reading assignment his staff has given him. Remember crazy girl Candace Owens, Blexic, big-time MAGA Trump supporter? Well, guess what, y'all? She was in England, and she actually said that, you know what? Hitler, his nationalism was fine as long as it was in Germany. Okay, wait till I play y'all the video. I told y'all she is not the brightest bulb in a dark room. Trump may be gone in a few years, but his federal judges will be here for the next 20, 30 to 40 years. We'll tell you about Republicans ramming through nearly 50 of his judges in one day. We'll talk with a lawyer from the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law about what's going on. Also, new details of the story of Crystal Mason, a black woman who went to prison for voting in Texas. Her attorney, Kim Cole, is here with a live update. Also, this morning on the Tom Jordan Morning Show, I participated in the interview with Senator Kamala Harris, who's running for president. We'll actually have for you the full interview there on the Tom Jordan Morning Show. And Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee of Houston shows Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker, who's the boss, at a congressional hearing today. Wait till we show you the video. Folks, it's time to bring the funk. I'm Roland Martin Unfiltered. Let's go.
Whatever the biz, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the find. And when it breaks, he's right on time and it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's on go, y'all. It's Roland Martin, yeah. Rolling with Roland now. He's funk, he's fresh, he's real, the best, you know he's Roland Martin now. Martin.
All right, folks, more drama in Virginia. Well, Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax took a major hit today when a woman who went to college with him at Duke University, she released a statement saying that she was raped by Fairfax when they were students at Duke, saying it took place in 2000. Now, in this particular statement here, we're gonna read the actual statement. And so this is what the statement actually says. And first of all, the headline is Request for Resignation of Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax. They say, we serve as counsel for Meredith Watson, who was raped by Justin Fairfax in 2000 while they were both students at Duke University. Mr. Fairfax's attack was premeditated and aggressive. The two were friends but never dated or had any romantic relationship. Ms. Watson shared her account of the rape with friends in a series of emails and Facebook messages that are now in our possession. Additionally, we have statements from former classmates corroborating that Ms. Watson immediately told friends that Mr. Fairfax had raped her. Ms. Watson was upset to learn that Mr. Fairfax raped at least one other woman after he attacked her. The details of Ms. Watson's attack are similar to those described by Dr. Vanessa Tyson. At this time, Ms. Watson is reluctantly coming forward out of a strong sense of civic duty and her belief that those seeking or serving in public office should be of the highest character. She has no interest in becoming a media personality or reliving the trauma that has greatly affected her life. Similarly, she is not seeking any financial damages. On behalf of our client, we have notified Justin Fairfax through his attorneys that Ms. Watson hopes he will resign from public office. Now, this is the statement that Justin Fairfax released. I deny this latest unsubstantiated allegation. It is demonstrably false. I have never forced myself on anyone ever. I demand a full investigation into these unsubstantiated and false allegations. Such an investigation will confirm my account because I am telling the truth. I will clear my good name, and I have nothing to hide. I have passed 2 full field background checks by the FBI and run for office in 2 highly contested elections with nothing like this being raised before. It is obvious that a vicious and coordinated smear campaign is being orchestrated against me. I will not resign. Right now, I want to bring up now our panelists here joining us to talk about this. First off, we have Malik Boyd, who was with us out of Philadelphia, and we also, of course, have Barbara Arnwine, Transformative Justice Coalition. So, folks, let's examine this. Now, first of all, the initial complaint by Dr. Vanessa Tyson says that he forced her to have oral sex in 2004. Okay, so that took place over the weekend, came public on Monday. So now we have this statement here. Now, her lawyer, who was also the lawyer for Gretchen Carlson when she sued Roger Ailes at Fox, they say that she told friends that it happened at the time. But are any of you surprised, though, that Justin, when he ran first as Attorney General, the Lieutenant Governor, often talked about being a Duke graduate. Right. And no one said anything about this. Just what are your thoughts about, as you read this letter? Not only that, she calling for his resignation, but not for him to be charged, not suing financially. And then also, they say she has no interest in becoming a media personality or reliving the trauma that has greatly affected her life. Well, you're going to have to, that's going to be a part of this if you accuse him of this and say he should resign. What your thoughts?
You want to go with that?
Yes, well, first of all, I'm connected to both of their alma maters.
Right.
Okay.
Because Scripps College is where I went to undergraduate.
Okay.
And that's where Tyson is tenured.
A professor, yes.
And I also went to Duke University for law school. So, I have this, real, feeling. First of all, Tyson has nothing to gain. Because let me be very clear, everybody, Scripps College is not going to be loving on her for this. This is that's not that kind of an environment. I went there. I can tell you it's mostly a white school. It is not going to be, giving her pats on the back. So she's taking a risk by coming out. There's no doubt that she will not be rewarded for this. I also think that if it's proven and it is substantiated that she actually, the second lady actually at Duke, had told people contemporaneously, then I think there's no other option for Justin Fairfax than to resign. I think black women have to stand up for other black women. And I think it's important for us to say that the entire rape culture of this society and within the African-American community has to end.
So how do you, though, get to that point, though?
Yeah.
Because in order to get to that point, there has to be an investigation.
Right.
And there has to be the witnesses have to actually be named and have their statements read. I mean, this is not one of those instances where you just sit back and say, oh, well, there's no proof. It's just he said, she said. No. And we know from watching what happened with Kavanaugh that more people will come forward.
And we also...
Because sounds like a pattern.
But here's the piece here. We also have here where she frames this as he raped her.
Yes.
When Dr. Tyson's statement that called it sexual assault because it was forced oral sex.
Right.
Now, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a prosecutor, but I think when people hear rape, they hear that as differently than what Dr. Tyson described.
Exactly.
But the lawyers here say in their statement that that details of Ms. Watkins' attack are similar to those described by Dr. Vanessa Tyson.
Right.
So first thing is, I think every man on this panel is vehemently against rape culture, all right? But it becomes dangerous when you throw rocks and hide your hands. And that's, in essence, what that statement was. He raped me, but I'm not going to even finish the conversation. I'm just going to leave this thing out here and let it stick. And this kind of political climate, to your point, we have to get to the bottom of it with the full investigation. And I do appreciate the fact that Justin Fairfax did not attack her and said, listen, let's go as deep as we need to go on the investigation because I have no doubt that I'm innocent. But she has to come to the table. She's got to tell the story.
Now, again, so Barbara, you said that
Yes.
witnesses are going to have to come forward
Yes.
and names revealed.
That's right.
And so, and then they said that she told friends in emails and Facebook messages, and then they have statements saying that that Watson immediately told friends that Mr. Fairfax had raped her.
Right.
What you're saying is those folks are going to have to come forward
Absolutely are.
and say this actually happened.
Absolutely.
But also produce something that also corroborates it.
Well, I think that, you know, it's going to be very, very important for this to get fully aired, because I don't think that we can have a situation where it's just his word against her word. I think it's very important against their word now. And there will be others.
But her
Most
lawyers,
likely.
though, are not calling for an investigation.
Right.
Well, and that's very, very interesting. And remember, you know, I mean, I think it's so hard for people to understand what it's like for a woman who has been sexually assaulted or
Right.
raped. That they don't understand that you don't want the camera on you. You don't want to have to keep talking about what he did to you. That's emotionally not only harmful and hurtful, it's destabilizing to your entire existence as a woman. And I think that people don't understand that every time these lurid details are talked about what he did to her, it
First of all, what he allegedly
undermines-
did.
Right, what he
So-
allegedly did, it just chips at you.
But-
It's like somebody taking a hammer to a building.
But I can actually just flip it, though.
Yeah.
If you're Justin Fairfax,
Right.
and you say it flat out didn't happen.
Right.
Former Governor Terry McAuliffe has said he should resign. If you are your lawyer, if you are the lawyer for Justin Fairfax, what is your response?
Oh, of course, you know, if I'm his attorney, I'm saying you got to make them come forth with all the proof. I mean, that's what I'm saying to him. I'm also saying,
But what you tell him to resign?
I'm also saying to him, confidentially on the QT, I'm saying, listen, if you did this, you know, let's be straightforward right now. There's no sense in going down a long road
Right.
of defending and how, you know, and all this, because all you're doing is destroying your entire career. It's already gone if it's true.
But what if he
So
says
you
to
need
you,
to come out.
What if he says to you, Barbara, if you're his attorney, if he says, Barbara, this did not happen?
Then you defend your client. I mean, that's what you do as a lawyer.
Would you tell
defend
him?
your client.
No, but I'm asking you, though, the cause for resignation.
Yes.
If you're his lawyer
Yes.
and he's saying, Barbara, I did not do this, they're saying I should quit. Do you tell him, quit, we'll try to clear your name, or do you say, no, you don't leave, we're going to fight?
I would, but you got to remember, it's me, right?
No, I'm asking you.
As a woman.
That's why I'm asking you.
And I would tell him, listen, we're going to make them produce the evidence, and produce these witnesses. We're going to make them do that. We can do it in camera, meaning, we can have it done secretively without it being in the public eye, or we can do it in public. But the bottom line is, you better be conscious that if this is substantiated, that you're now doubly harmed. You're now doubly eroded. And it's not in your best interest to go down this road.
Malik.
So I agree with that, and I think that's very important.
Yes.
However, and I'm not a lawyer, right? But the right to face my accuser. You have now accused me, and so in the court of law now, bring it out. Show me the facts. And so, yes, there's this very delicate balance of someone having to relive such a traumatic event. However, the timing of it is quite interesting.
But when is there a good time?
Then there's never a good time.
There's never a good
But the
time.
timing and the facts that says, listen, this occurred, but I'm not going to tell you the rest of the story, and I don't want to relive it. In this space and time, I think it's justice on both sides for the story to come out.
So I got to ask both of you.
Yeah.
We heard Democrats, especially women, who were saying with Christine Blasey Ford and Kavanaugh,
Exactly.
believe all women. You had Republicans who were saying due process.
Right.
When Congressman John Conyers was accused.
Yes.
You had folks who were saying, oh, you got to go.
Al Franken.
Oh, hold on, I'm not going there yet.
Okay.
You got to go.
Right.
Kanye's folks were like, wait a minute, hold up. Due process. So the question is this. This is not, and again, I'm bringing up white men. I'm bringing up black men.
Right.
I'm bringing up anybody. Let's say a woman is accused of sexual harassment.
And they have been.
The question here is, can you have a due process conversation in a politically charged environment?
Well, I think that you have to have an investigation.
But
I think
what's
that
the
they have to.
investigation?
I think that listen, what they had the option of doing in the Congress on Franklin and everybody else was they could have done a congressional investigation.
Okay, so
it's an ethics
let's do it with Fairfax.
right?
Let's do it with
It's
Fairfax.
ethics charge.
He's a lieutenant governor of Virginia.
Yes.
Dr. Tyson said this took place in Boston, 2004. This woman, Meredith Watts, said it took place in North Carolina in 2000. So if there's an investigation, who does it?
Well, in this case, it would be the ethics committee or whatever the committee grievance committee would be.
In Virginia.
In Virginia.
Okay.
It would absolutely be.
So
and you got to also worry. I mean, he needs to worry because I don't know what the statute of limitations is on rape. And by the way, rape is not necessarily in every state a requirement that there be what you call penetration.
Right, precisely.
And that it can be precisely what's been alleged in the Tyson statement. So what you would need to do here is that you would have to have a complete investigation, but he better be worried that the state does not open its own investigation and looking at its own possible charges.
But here's the piece, though.
Because they can do that.
But here's the piece. He said, quote,
Right.
I demand
Bring it on.
a full investigation
Yep.
into these unsubstantiated and false allegations. Such an investigation will confirm my account because I'm telling the truth.
Yeah.
He's not dancing.
Absolutely.
He's saying,
Absolutely.
bring the investigation.
Please.
Absolutely.
Please.
And you got to remember, Roland, I'm a lawyer, right? So I've had clients. I'm not a criminal
And
lawyer.
you know that statement
I've had
was
clients.
vetted by lawyers.
I have clients who in fact, my first ever case, I was telling somebody about this the other day, was a case that involved a client who had been telling the same story, Roland, for at least 7 years. Wow. We go to court. We've done depots, interrogatories. We've had, full discovery. We get into court, and the judge says, put your hand on the Bible, and she says, I can't.
Wow.
Okay? Wow. And I have told a lie. And all of us who were her lawyers almost fell on the ground. It was the most embarrassing situation ever. So we've had people say, oh, take it to court. We'll go all the way. I'm going to fight. So you never know. All I'm saying is it's good that he's called for an investigation. That's the right thing to do. I think it's important that if he knows in his heart, something different, that he does the right thing. If he knows that he's innocent, he ought to fight.
But that's all the more reason for due process.
Right.
Because
Precisely.
due process is what brought out that flaw in the case, right?
Please,
So you get to the point of due process
me.
and you find out the flaw either way. However,
remind me.
he's calling for it vehemently. He
Right.
needs to get it. And I do think in this culture, because it's politically charged, unfortunately, we have to do full investigation.
Yes.
You got to bring your story. You cannot throw rocks and hide hands.
And we were mad at the
Got it.
Kavanaugh situation because they didn't do
Absolutely.
a full investigation.
Absolutely.
And I think that would be a good thing to happen here.
Let me real quick here. Let's talk about Ralph Northam. A new civic survey in Virginia says that 60% of the voters want Governor Ralph Northam to resign as a result of blackface photos. Just 24% of voters say he should stay. Now, for black folks, it's 64-27. Now, here's what's interesting out of all of this. Go ahead and bring Derek in our panel. I don't know why y'all had him sitting over there. Bring him in. Now, here's what's interesting in this whole deal, okay? In Virginia, Northam is now basically saying, I'm not going to quit. And his staff is even giving him reading assignments. Y'all, so they've had him read Alex Haley's Roots.
Oh, my God.
They have him reading Ta-Nehisi Coates' story in The Atlantic on the argument for reparations. And they got him reading some other books. And so Northam basically is about to shift this whole issue of making his his governorship about race. So again, I got Malik, I got Barbara, Derek Holly, host of Reaching America on Demand podcast. First, Derek, I want to get your thoughts on the Fairfax story first, and then we'll talk about this Northam now focus on race stuff.
Well, I'm from Virginia, grew up down there and all that kind of stuff. So for me right now, it's just kind of crazy what's going on. And I think with Justin Fairfax, I think the right thing for him to do is call for a full investigation. Bring it to the table. If you accuse me of it, because I understand the lady now, she said her attorneys that she does not want to move forward. She wants to go back to her life as it was.
Well, no, in a statement, she says, quote, she has no interest in becoming a media personality or reliving the trauma that's greatly affected her life. Similarly, she is not seeking any financial damages. And so, yeah.
I just don't understand how that could happen. And so for her to come forward and then say, I want to go back to my life as it was,
right?
That's just not possible.
Never going to happen.
Right.
It's not going to happen. So
never.
I'm glad, because Roland, I was on that show when Justin came on that morning. He said he wanted to come on your show.
After he won Lieutenant Governor.
And he said he wanted to come on your show first and do the interview. And I was on there and I met him that day. And he just seemed like a stand-up dude, you know? And so I applaud Justin for calling for this full investigation.
So let's talk about this Northam, okay? Now all of a sudden, I'm about to go read some black stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, get my black up. Yeah.
Oh, come on. It's disgusting.
But so the blackface thing is really important for a couple reasons. This happened not in the 60s.
1984.
This is
80s.
He was 25 years old.
This is the 80s, right? And so to all of the individuals, to all our folk that believe we made it and we're good, we're not, right? And this is evidence of that. And to those who are our white counterparts who believe everything is settled, this is clear. It's not. Right?
Barbara?
The 80s is ridiculous at this point.
Well, listen, I mean, he can read all he want to read. At home, after he's resigned, he needs to resign right now. Stop dragging this on. Stop attacking. Stop doing all the stuff you're doing.
Because in the case of Fairfax, he's accused of something.
Right.
We got photos.
We know.
Now you're trying to say that wasn't me.
But it was me.
Right. And also, I want to say to the Supreme Court, in the Croson case, where you said that, all this history of Virginia being the heart of the Confederacy was past, Sandra Day O'Connor and all the rest of them.
Right.
Think about it.
Right.
Derek.
I was just going to say, when my sisters and nieces and nephew all still live down in Chesapeake. And so when I go home, for years I've said this, it's like traveling back in time when you go to Virginia.
Yes.
And it's just this feeling that comes over you, man. From everything from the state troopers laying up in the cuts when you're coming down, from the police hiding in the woods and everything, man. It's just crazy.
Same as Alabama, same as Mississippi.
Texas, you name it. Louisiana.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's like, and yeah, when you black, you feel it.
You feel it immediately.
You feel it.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Let's talk about getting an update on the story of Crystal Mason, the black woman, of course, who was sent to prison because she voted illegally. Now, what's crazy about this is that she went to prison for tax fraud. She got out. She said she voted. She could not vote. She said she didn't know. Her parole officer said she didn't know. They still threw her in jail for violating her parole. Then the Tarrant County DA tried to hit her up on an old sewage violation and charge her with that crime. Luckily, they have dropped that charge. Joining us right now is Kim Cole, Crystal Mason's attorney. All right, so Kim, what's the latest? What's going on with Crystal?
Well, Roland, as you said, we just got the Tarrant County District Attorney to drop Crystal's charges yesterday. And so now it was just confirmed. I heard from the Bureau of Prisons this morning. As of this morning, they are resubmitting Crystal's application to be transferred to a residential reentry center, which is commonly known as a halfway house.
Okay, so all right, now that was on that federal charge. So she would go to a federal halfway house. But what's the deal though on that state charge?
Which state charge? The original voting charge or the sewer charge?
The state charge, the voting charge.
The voting charge is currently under appeal, and we are awaiting a ruling on that.
So if she's able to get to this residential, this halfway house, how long will she spend time there?
So she will probably have about 3 months left by the time that process goes through. So she'll spend perhaps maybe 3 months at the residential reentry center. And if there is no ruling on the appeal, or if we win the appeal, she is free to go on about her life.
Okay, cool. Well, we wanted to certainly, I know she's a member of Friendship West Baptist Church. Reverend Dr. Freddie Haynes, I was a member of that church as well. So he was texting me this morning, so that is great news as well. And so we're certainly going to keep covering this case and certainly keep the attention on, because frankly, what they're doing to her makes no sense whatsoever. And so Kim, keep up the good work.
Thank you, Roland. I certainly appreciate it. And I want to. I know I don't need to give a shout out, but I've got to make it clear that Albert Roberts, who opposed the Tarrant County DA in this past election, was very instrumental in getting this accomplished, as well as the Arlington NAACP president, Alyssa Simmons. So.
All right, then. We appreciate that. It's a great job to Albert and NAACP. So Kim Cole, thanks a lot.
Do it.
Thank you, Roland.
All right, now let's talk about Candace Owens. Now, y'all know I don't believe for a second she's the brightest bulb in a dark room. She's the young sister who white conservatives have been just slobbering over because of her love for Donald Trump. And so Fox News puts her on television all the time, and she's been running from me, y'all. And in fact, when they had their rally at the White House, when Trump invited them all there when they had their conference here last year, first, remember, we were going to cover their conference, but then they revoked our press pass. And so we went anyway. And so outside, she's on the megaphone, and she's doing interviews, and Vice is covering them and everything. And so she sees me and gives me this death stare. And like, what are you doing here? I was like, well, baby, I cover black stuff. And this ain't the first time I cover black conservatives at the White House, okay? And then y'all, the death stare was hilarious. Now, y'all, this is me. Of course. That's how I was looking at it. And so then poor little Candace tells me, I blocked you on Twitter because you called me a coon and a salt and an Uncle Tom. Now, any black conservative will tell you, I don't allow those phrases to be said on my show about them. I block people on social media who use those words. I've never called black conservatives sellouts, Uncle Toms, and coons. And I told Candace and her little minions, where the proof?
Right.
I'm still waiting. So she been running from me. Her little boy, Charlie Kirk, been running from me. But y'all, they were in England trying to launch Turning Point USA in the UK. A question gets asked. Charlie, standing right next to Candace, hand her the microphone. Press play.
I actually don't have any problems at all with the word nationalism. I think that it gets, the definition gets poisoned by elitists that actually want globalism. Globalism is what I don't want. So when you think about, whenever we say nationalism, the first thing people think about, at least in America, is Hitler. You know, he was a National Socialist, but if Hitler just wanted to make Germany great and have things run well, okay, fine. The problem is that he had dreams outside of Germany. He wanted to globalize. He wanted everybody to be German, everybody to be speaking German, everybody to look a different way. That's not, to me, that's not nationalism. So in thinking about how it could go bad down the line, I don't really have an issue with nationalism. I really don't. I think that it's okay. It's important to retain your country's identity and to make sure that what's happening here, which I think is incredibly worrisome in terms of the decrease in the birth rate that we're seeing in the UK, is what you kind of want to avoid. So I don't have I have no problems with nationalism. It's globalism that I try to avoid.
Hold on, let me just take my jacket off. I'm gonna have to. Okay, it's about to get a little heated up in here. Hold on, y'all. I gotta take my jacket off. It's about to get a little heated up in here. Oh God. Y'all. So y'all, let me break this thing down. Crazy little girl just said, well, if he just wanted to make Germany great, I'm good. Do y'all understand that Hitler was trying to exterminate all Jews in Germany? Hitler didn't want any whites in Germany. Hitler took his cues from Jim Crow in America to institute the hatred in Germany. Basically, what Candace said is, yo, if that's how you want to roll in Germany, I'm good. But the moment you decide to go outside of Germany, that's why we had a problem.
Right.
I told y'all that girl was not smart. Now she's trying to come back. Oh, Hitler, he's just coming to earth. Derek, I'm gonna go ahead and start with you, because you and Malik black conservatives, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and go to y'all first. I mean, are y'all not black conservatives?
Well, no, I hear you.
Don't attach me to that.
I just
Derek, go right ahead.
I look at Candace, man, and her, like a lot of some of these young millennials, they use talking points.
Right.
They have no experience of what's really, really going on in the world.
Ain't read a book.
Ain't read a book. Don't really know. And so she got handed the microphone and got asked that question, and she stuck her foot in her mouth. Just because she was talking. And she didn't even know what she was saying. Clearly she didn't know what she was saying.
Right.
And so, and that's my point. That's my problem with her, this new freshman Congress lady, Alexandra, her, because I think that she's out too they give her too much of a bull.
I don't agree with
You can't even put them two in the same room.
I'm just
This child right here.
Finish my statement, please.
Because
Alexandra, she does not know what she talking about either.
Derek.
Okay.
Don't conflate her.
Except this ass whipping by itself.
No.
Isolated.
No.
Malik, here's the deal.
Not at all.
The right wing has lifted this child up like she is the next thing. All the stories done on her. NBC News did a story where Van Jones, and I almost cussed out Van, said she literally could be the next Megyn Kelly. And all this sort of stuff. And I'm just going to be straight up.
Okay.
Y'all need to understand how to game recognize game.
Right.
Okay?
Absolutely.
And y'all, I've been knowing black conservatives my entire life. And this is what white conservatives do. You take, for them, a telegenic black woman
Got a look.
who they say, oh, she got a look. And then for them, oh my God, she's so articulate.
Yeah.
And then, hold up, she gonna trash black people on the regular? Boom, instant star. And Malik, that's what you got here.
All right, so that's not just a Republican thing. That's a political thing. Dems do it on the other side. So we got to be honest.
Well, you can't actually show me how many Dems have taken. No, I'm talking about
the Hitler.
I'm talking about somebody who's dumb. I'm talking about somebody.
We had a few.
Oh no, Malik.
All right. I'm just saying.
They ain't that quick to go. Oh, we gonna elevate you to superstar status.
I don't think. No. So
then
here's the.
Okay, dude, hold up. No. Difference is.
We're not gonna do the Alexandria piece.
First of all, she got elected.
Right.
This child ain't elected.
She's appointed.
She got appointed.
There you go.
Go ahead, Malik.
So I agree with you on that. Here's the real issue. There are some black folk that got appointed to positions that just simply weren't ready. And we just got to call a spade a spade. She's one of them. And the challenge is those who are disenfranchised or feels disenchanted about the Democratic Party and they make a switch or they have whatever conservative values, you present this platform, you get elevated, you have no idea how to handle that platform because they didn't prepare you.
But let me also be clear. Let me also be good. Just go ahead and say it because y'all don't want to say it.
Where are we going?
Let's just go ahead and say it.
Good.
It's been black conservatives like you and black conservatives like you, Derek. And I can go Shermichael, I can go Malik, I can go other black conservatives who they don't call.
Yeah, but there's a
but
reason why.
They'll quickly latch on to.
There's a reason why. When Trump came to North Philly, I was in that room and sat with him. But I was willing to call him out on something in that room before he was president. There's a difference. Derek, I believe you're going to go in the room, you're going to call a spade a spade. Yeah. There are others that will play the role and go down the road. And that fame does not pan out. The sensationalism that a white conservative uses versus a black, the end result is totally different.
Well, the problem is that she's stuck on stupid. She has not done any study, any analysis. They told her, since Trump said he's a nationalist,
run with that.
That you can't criticize nationalism. They told her that our line is we don't like globalism. And so that's
points.
right. They're just,
Right.
I mean, you know,
you
she
don't like
has-
globalism
Right.
with a dude who's tried to open condos across the globe.
Right. And she doesn't have good enough sense to know, because she knows nothing, because it's just empty, she doesn't even realize that she's standing on, you know, she's standing in Britain and Germany. She doesn't even know the story of the Holocaust. I mean, she doesn't understand it. Hold on, let me finish now. I didn't interrupt you.
You're right.
Because, you know, she is, if she were Diamond and Silk, we would all say, oh, well, you know, that's the minstrel show. You know, no, it is. You know, it's the
agree with
minstrel
you.
show without the need for blackface. Without the need for
it. I
blackface.
mean, okay.
Come on.
You
You know,
I
but what we're seeing here is somebody who they try to front as someone who's serious free thinker.
Oh yeah,
Free
and
thinker.
see, Malik, the issue here,
Go ahead.
the issue here for me again, this issue, and I look, like I said, folks, I've known black conservatives for years. We've had black Republicans for eons, but the issue here is when white conservatives go, she's the one,
Yes.
and they put on television,
Right.
they put her on radio,
Without-
they elevate her,
Right.
and she has no damn clue whatsoever.
Right.
I don't care how dumb you are.
She-
It ain't hard to say Hitler was evil.
Absolutely.
That's 3 words.
I'm with
Right.
you on, I'm with you on that. And what
Right.
you don't do is talk about, you know, nationalism, and then you compare or co-sign a mass murder. Right? I mean, that's just stupid, right? But
If you want to make Germany great, okay, I'm good with that.
here's a very
It's probably even
dangerous.
outside the borders.
This is a very dangerous element that's happening right now with black conservatives.
Go ahead.
Black conservatives, unfortunately, those that are being pushed into that pipeline, they're using their social media influence to leverage this. That's a whole different ballgame. And so there are some
Yep.
people who are just saying wild things in order to draw the attention and try to push the talking point. Again, white conservatives can do that. Blacks, we get grinded up every time. And that was a dumb mistake.
All I'm saying, y'all, is I can't wait to see now what the spin is. In fact, one of the people who they recruited in the UK has already said, yo, these some crazy ass people. I got to go.
Yeah.
I can't deal with these crazy people. But again, Candace and Charlie, I've offered y'all the opportunity to debate for at least 7-8 months. Y'all are more now. Y'all did the show at 3 floors above us, so y'all been to the building. I am more than willing for y'all to sit in these chairs right here,
I'll get up
And have a conversation.
Let's see right here.
and you can't say
They got nothing to
you can't say I ain't never had black conservatives on the show.
That's true.
I got 2 right now.
That's true.
All I'm saying is, if y'all want to have a conversation, come on. But I'm telling y'all, go read a book or 2. Go try the ones Ralph Northam got to read before y'all come here. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's talk about federal judges. This week, the Republican-controlled Senate is racing to approve more than 40 Republican judges, mostly white men, and some rated unqualified by the American Bar Association. Now, guys, when I say racing to do this, literally no real hearings whatsoever. Joining us is Fred McBride, Interim Director of Public Policy for Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law. And basically, Fred, Mitch McConnell said we're going to have a conveyor belt. Elections do have consequences. But the difference here is that they literally are trying to put people on the bench who are grossly unqualified. I mean, they passed a dude last year who had never in his life filed a legal brief.
Yeah.
Yep.
Had never,
They had no
ever been in a courtroom.
No clue.
Last year, they put on the bench one woman who's only 11 years out of law school. She's like 35, and she had no idea about the law. One guy at a hearing hit him with a question. He said, well, we didn't really cover that in law school. These are lifetime appointments to the federal bench.
Correct. And they've been moving expeditiously to push these through. Interestingly enough, though, these current 44 this week, these current ones, they don't want the embarrassment that came last year with some of those. So some of these have served and sat on a bench, but their views have been deemed extreme, outdated, just in the interest of fairness. I mean, you have a potential nominee who cannot answer a question about whether or not Brown versus Board of Education was
now that's what's stunning to me. And this is the second one they've asked that, and they would not give an opinion, on whether or not Brown versus Board of Education was rightfully adjudicated.
Right. And I'd like to emphasize this, Roland, because we pay so much attention to Supreme Court, like the Brett Kavanaugh last year, and it's like the Supreme Court. But what people don't realize, yes, the Supreme Court is the court of last resort, but the Supreme Court hears about 80 cases a year. So what about the cases that they decide not to hear?
Right.
They are decided at these district and circuit courts. We have to be concerned about that and fairness there as well, and not just wave a flag and talk and become active when we hear about the next Supreme Court nominee. And we got to care about these districts and circuit courts.
And the people who are on this committee, the Senate Judiciary Committee, of course, it is the new chair is Lindsey Graham. Mm-hmm. You have Ben Sass. You've got Kennedy from Louisiana. Mm-hmm. You've got Mike Lee from Utah. You got all these folks who talk about fairness and equality, all those things, and they literally are run them through. Wow. And they're being confirmed through our committee, 12-10 votes, 12-10 votes. I mean, they aren't even having the guts. Even when sorry-ass Jeff Flake was there, okay, he was every time he gave a speech, I'm like, dog, you on that committee said nothing. They literally are confirmed. And they always talk about, oh, so-and-so, the gold standard for the American Bar Association. Many of these judges have been deemed unqualified by the ABA.
Mm-hmm. And be concerned, too, that the long-standing tradition of senators being able to oppose certain judges from their states is just basically being ignored now.
Which is the blue slip.
Right.
And so what Mitch McConnell has done, the rule in the Senate, folks, has been that that normally what happens is the senators from that state say, we'll sign off. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, when Obama was president, the two senators from North Carolina, Barr and Tillis, rejected two black women who he had appointed to the federal bench, refused to even give them a hearing. Not even a hearing. McConnell is so dastardly in Wisconsin as a Republican senator, a Democratic senator. Both of them submitted blue slips. He said, I'm going to ignore you. Mm-hmm. He even ignored the Republican blue slip. Their deal is, no, the Fairness Society wants these people. We're going to put them all on the bench. You wanted to say something, Derek?
I was going to say, one of the things we talk about, I attend a weekly meeting, conservatives, and you're right. They have appointed more judges than any other administration. Right. Mm-hmm. Now, the part about the expeditiously, that's just moving forward now because they have been delayed. Because every week they come in and report what's going on in the House, what's going on in the Senate, and these judges have been delayed. So now this new thing, I think they're moving expeditiously because it has been blocked for so many.
Yeah, but first of all, delayed for how long?
I'd say for the last few months they've been coming in talking about how they've been delayed. So now they're definitely trying to push these things through.
No. Let me correct.
They've been getting them through.
Let me correct. They've been getting through.
They've been getting them through.
No. Talking about right now.
Because what's been going on is that there's been negotiation with Democrats because what Schumer has been saying is we need proper hearings. Right. What they have done is to put on, and correct me if I'm wrong, Fred, they said, okay, we're going to put on 7 and 10 at one time.
That's right.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And so as opposed to I get to ask each person a question, no, I got to pick, okay, I got 10 people on up at one time. And then what they did was, to the point you're talking about, several of them were so embarrassing, they were like, okay, we're not going to do that. We're just going to go ahead and just submit their names and no hearings at all. Right. These 44, did they all have actual hearings?
Not all. A lot of it is sort of like a slate process.
Right.
Let's get it through. And
run them through.
To add to your point, remember we have a sitting president that says, I've appointed more.
That's right.
And he is actually reshaping the federal judiciary.
Because the Republicans blocked 100 judicial appointments in Obama's last year at 18 months because they were waiting to see if they will win the White House.
And I was going to say, what concerns me the most about it, and I am a conservative, is that these guys, as you said, they are elected for life.
Yes.
They're going to be in that bench forever. And so it concerns me having a young black son because they're going to rule by the law of the land.
And Malik, most of them don't even look like y'all.
Listen, we talk about this all the time.
These are largely all.
We do this locally, right?
72%.
Hold on for a second.
Over 72% of all of his nominees are
Right.
white male.
Absolutely.
Only 10% are minority. So you're looking at 90% white judges.
But this
Let's
is-
talk
One
about
black.
fairness.
Wow.
But this is
and the one black person.
One black.
They were looking at 67 years old, and they said too old because they only want judges who are between 35 and 50. Malik and Barbara.
This is why elections matter and education and politics matters. We can no longer just vote with our gut, vote down ballot, and play these little games because we're now seeing the consequences of such.
And let's ensure
And
that
this
our
is-
vote is counted. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Barbara, go ahead. Barbara, go
And
ahead.
This is about them stop being stupid. You know, I sat with Clinton's people. I sat with Obama's people. I said your number one priority should be judges. Get it done, move it. Dems have not been smart when it's come to really moving aggressively on judges. And it is time for, and I think what I'm seeing is an awakening among the people where folks are finally beginning to realize my vote is tied to the judiciary, but the administrations that come in have to prioritize judges because all the vacancies that exist, I blame on the Obama administration in part. Because they could have done a better job.
Well,
They
no.
could absolutely
No, wait, Barbara, wait.
Year 1 and 2.
Barbara, wait.
Year 1
No,
and 2.
hold on, Barbara, wait. When you say do a better job, now let's just be clear.
Year
What Obama did is what Democrats do. They talk about you're going to be fair.
Right.
Patrick Leahy was the chair of the committee. He said, we'll continue the tradition of the blue slip. That's what he said. He said, so we'll have the process. I keep trying to tell y'all.
They did worse than that.
Republicans don't give a damn about fairness. Their whole deal is,
But that's not
pat that sucker.
But here's the thing:
Results.
Democrats have to stop playing flag football in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Hey.
No,
That's literally what it is.
Hey,
Hey.
look, my philosophy is when
I like
you.
that. I've never heard that, but I like that.
My philosophy is
What it is.
when you get power, you
run
use
it.
power.
Use it.
And I'm telling you right now,
Right.
if I'm Chuck Schumer
Right.
and I get control of the Senate,
It's on.
let me tell y'all something.
Right.
That sucker gonna look like the speed train in China. And every time Mitch McConnell say something, I'll be like, show his ass the hand.
Yeah.
Because you sat here and changed the rules. I'm telling you right now, you think they ran through 40? I'll be like 80. I'm telling you right now,
Right.
I would.
Right.
I wouldn't apologize for Jack. But Democrats got to decide whether they want to play hard or they're going to be soft.
Right.
Fred, final comment, then we got to go.
Yes.
Okay, my final comment, I'm glad you mentioned voting.
Yes.
Because civil rights groups, we are concerned about fair, equal access to the voting, to the booth,
Yes.
and political participation.
Yes.
This current administration, 30 circuit court judges,
Yep.
53 district court judges, all of that, and some of those judges, some of those nominees supported the voter purge in Ohio.
Yep.
Right.
Supported voter ID laws in Texas and other places, and now they're going to be sitting in a higher court.
That's right.
And I believe still supporting those positions.
Of course.
Without question.
All right.
wrong.
Fred McBride, we appreciate it, brother. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, folks, going to a break. We'll be back. Roland Martin Unfiltered in just a moment. Hey, fam, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. Shh. All right, folks, let's talk about our partner, D Herbs, okay? They, of course, have this full body cleanse. So a lot of us looking to lose weight, take some of the toxicity out of our body. It's one of the ways to do that is a full body cleanse. And so what they have are 27 different cleanses that you can actually pick from on their website. Now, again, I did this a little bit earlier, lost about 18 pounds. And again, but it's not just a matter of just losing the weight, but it's also changing how you look at eating, what you eat, more raw vegetables, more fruits, things along those lines, adding in your diet. Now, if you want to do one of the cleanses, do me a favor. All you got to do is go to theherbs.com, and actually use the promo code Roland. You can also call their number, 1-866-4DHERBS, 1-866-4DHERBS. Like I said, 27 full body cleanses to choose from. Some last 3 days, 10 days, 20 days. They also have weight loss management cleanses as well. So again, go to their website, check it out, see what works best for you. I can tell you it was great for me. This is the third time I've actually done it. And so we'll have some other family members do it as well. So go to theherbs.com or call 1-866-4DHERBS, 1-866-4DHERBS, and be sure to use the promo code Roland. So we certainly appreciate them supporting Roland Martin Unfiltered. All right, folks, today on the Tom Joyner Morning Show, California Senator Kamala Harris, who's running for president, she was on the show talking about that, and here is our interview with the senator.
It, of course, is a great day. We are, of course, in the throes of a presidential campaign, and one of the folks, of course, who announced on King Day, California Senator Kamala Harris. Senator, how you doing?
I am very well this morning, Roland. How you doing?
First of all, for all the black people out there, let's just get straight. Is it Kamala or Kamala?
It's Kamala. Just
Thank you.
Calm. Just think of calm. At least I try to be most of the time.
I keep hearing folks throw all these different names out. So I'm like, you know what? Let's go ahead and be straight. Senator Kamala Harris. So first off,
there you go.
One of the things that we have seen since you announced so much attention on your record as a prosecutor, how are you going to deal with those issues where you have some folks who say that you were too tough on crime, that you were not responsive to the needs of African Americans? Can you speak to the critics of your record as a prosecutor?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, look, my parents met when they were active in the civil rights movement. I was born knowing the disparities, the flaws, and the injustices in the criminal justice system. And that's actually why I made a decision to be a prosecutor, because in my mind, we have to change and reform systems in all places and from all angles, including being in the room where the decisions are being made. And that's what I chose to do. And listen, Roland, let's be clear. I think we all know if a woman is raped, if a child is molested, if one human being kills another human being, we all want that there will be consequence and accountability. And we know that no parent should have to sit their son down and tell him when he turns 12 years old that he may be arrested or killed because of his race. So there is a whole lot of work to do, which is why when I was a prosecutor, I did initiatives that were groundbreaking initiatives, like Back on Track, which you and I have talked about over the years, where I was one of the first DAs in the country to focus on young offenders and getting them jobs and counseling. And when I was doing this, there were DAs around the country saying to me, why are you're supposed to be locking people up, not letting them out. And I said, no, because that's not a smart approach. We need to get jobs. We need to get support for these young people, because if we want to be smart on crime, let's focus on prevention and not only reaction. So I stand by my record, but there are some people who are going to, just say you shouldn't be a part of the system ever. And I don't know that I can ever appeal to that perspective. But I know in my heart and my soul and in the work that I've done that my objective has been about public safety and reform of the system.
Senator Kamala Harris, do you have a black agenda for your campaign? And by that, I mean, I know that you are obviously a black woman, and still people are talking about that. But also as a graduate of HBCU, you have an insight into this. But in terms of your plans, because, we're talking about unemployment for African Americans and education and things like that. And people want to know that they're being represented and thought of as this campaign goes on.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I challenge all candidates to have a black agenda. And so, you mentioned, for example, HBCUs. I've just been meeting over the last 2 days with all the HBCU presidents and chancellors, talking about the work that we have done together and the work we have yet to do. I am a proud graduate of an HBCU, Howard University, and we know HBCUs.
She says the same. She says the same thing to Hampton alum too. She says, "Ain't you?"
You know what? I have a senior member of my staff who went to Hampton. Bless her heart. But so the Black agenda has to be about all issues, right? Because what we know is that when we are talking about our community, all issues impact our community, and the members of our community care about all issues. But let's start with HBCUs as an example. HBCUs produce 25% of all African-American STEM graduates, right? So that's in sciences, that's in technology, engineering, math. And so we've got to do the work of supporting our HBCUs, and that's the work I've actually been doing when I've been in the Senate as well around support in terms of federal dollars. We've got to deal with the wealth gap. Black families hold $5 of wealth as compared to $100 of our white counterparts. That's real. These disparities cannot be denied. Black home ownership, we're looking at 40% versus white home ownership, which is 73% of the population. So, again, disparities. When I was fighting the 5 big banks during the foreclosure crisis, I'm going to tell you, up and down my state of California, but across the country, Black families were devastated because what we know is our biggest financial asset, our biggest source of wealth, the thing that allows us to put our children to college and retire with dignity, is buying and owning a home, in which we take a great deal of pride. And so these are issues that I think about and work on. I have a proposal for how we need to change the tax system, and in particular around looking at families who make less than $100,000 a year and lifting those households up with a tax credit that they would receive of $6,000 a year, but they can collect it at $500 a month, because what I know is that almost half the households who make less than $100,000 a year in this country are a $400 emergency away from devastation. And as it relates specifically to Black households, this initiative would lift 60% of Black households out of poverty. So those are some of the issues. We can talk about voting rights. We know when we look at Stacey Abrams, when we look at what happened in Florida with Andrew Gillum, we know we still have so much work to do, because after 2013 and the devastation that the Supreme Court caused to the Voting Rights Act with Shelby v. Holder, we had 22 states at least that put in place laws that were discriminatory against Black folks being able to vote. In fact, in North Carolina, the Court of Appeals said specifically, and I quote, that the law was created with surgical precision to prevent Black folks or to deter Black folks from voting. So that's another issue. And then, of course, there is the criminal justice issue and what we need to do around arrest rates, around incarceration rates, around what is happening in terms of the killing of unarmed Black men and women, and what needs to happen around massive change and reform around a system of mass incarceration, a failed war on drugs. And I will tell you also, when I am elected president, I will change how this Department of Justice has been running recently, where they have shut down their pattern and practice investigations around bias and prejudice in police departments, and they have not been enforcing consent decrees. So I could go on and on, but there is an extensive agenda. And here's how I also think about it, just for the team. When we talk, we've got to also understand that Black America's agenda needs to be America's agenda. And that's how I think about it.
Okay, Senator Kamala Harris, you and Cory Booker are running for president, and I'm Black, and I'm split. Who do I vote for? Who's
really, Tom?
I'm voting for somebody Black. There's Cory Booker and Kamala Harris. Are you splitting the Black vote?
Just don't vote twice.
Well, I'm not in Chicago.
Hold up there.
Right.
And will we have government after next Friday?
Oh, I really do hope so. It's just outrageous how this man is playing politics because of his vanity project called a wall. I really do hope so.
Yeah. All right.
She's running for president.
Senator Kamala Harris.
And it's pronounced Kamala.
As in calm.
Like, stay calm.
Keep up the great work, Senator. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you, everybody. Have a good day.
You too.
Good morning.
All right, folks. Let's do this here. Let's get y'all thoughts real quick. Out of all the candidates running, you had a lot of Black folks who've been far more critical of Senator Kamala Harris than anybody else. What do you make of what you're seeing in terms of the criticism and critiques of Senator Harris? What do you think is behind it?
we're hurt. There are expectations that were not met in our community with the last administration. They're not up for the same program again. And then you have candidates that are trying to ride on the same plane and same program that Obama's doing. That's not going to happen. So what we're seeing in the media is that clashing of folk going, bring the right agenda.
I said it for several years.
Right.
I said it. Can't nobody sit here and say, oh, Nathaniel's no. I said several years ago that the next black candidate will not get the same runway that Obama received.
No.
Because, and again, black folks can't sit here, and follow me here when I say black folks. And say, I love these people out here who want to say, oh, it was black elites. No.
Right.
I got the damn receipts.
Right.
I can go down on my Facebook
Oh,
page.
absolutely.
When a black caucus was demanding that $4 million in the House Financial Services Reform Bill, black folks, regular, ordinary black people were saying, Black caucus shouldn't be embarrassing the black president.
Right.
They shouldn't be opposing him. They shouldn't be doing that.
There are one.
When black women were sitting here, Barbara, no. See, I'm trying to let y'all know.
There are
When Obama, when he first appointed a woman, I was like, yo, he ain't even no black women. I'm telling y'all right now.
You know that.
They had a heated meeting at the White House.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay? I need y'all to listen. I wrote a column saying should appoint a black woman.
That's right.
Anita Dunn jammed me up outside of the White House.
Yep.
You shouldn't have written that because that's going to make it harder to appoint another black woman. I was like, he ain't appointed one yet.
Right.
Y'all, this actually happened.
Never did.
Barbara, you got banned from the Obama White House for 2 years.
That's right.
Because you dared to
2
call him out.
Years.
Go ahead.
Banned. Absolutely. I was banned for 2 solid years. I mean, not invited to anything. And even it got so bad that other civil rights leaders would get into the meetings and say, we can't talk about this because we need Barbara at the table. You know, we can't, what are we doing? Why are we here? She's the expert. She's the leader. What are you doing? And they would not invite me. They were so angry with me because I said they should have nominated a black woman for the Supreme Court. I said, where are the black women cabinet members? I called this stuff out.
Just let y'all know.
They were mad.
And let y'all know. Look,
Mad.
when he appointed Merrick Garland, I was on the air like, hell no, don't appoint a white man. I'm like, the strategic thing is to appoint a black woman to the Supreme Court. I said it's going to play a role in turnout in November. I said, all that sort of stuff like that. And so what you're seeing here is you're seeing this pushback against her. And here's the piece. And also, let me also be real clear. All these folks who act like it's new for Black Agenda. I run 3 black newspapers. News editor of Black Magazine. Editor-in-chief of BlackAmerica.com. Worked for 3 black cable networks. Been talking a Black Agenda my whole damn career. I ain't new at this. Okay? Some other folks are brand new at this. All right? So when you talk about Maynard Jackson's agenda, I've been talking about that for 20 years. So take that bullshit somewhere else where you think all of a sudden those questions have not been asked. And so, but every candidate, not just Senator Harris, not just Senator Booker, I'm telling you, Bernie, I keep warning him.
He's going to get work too.
You better chill talk about identity politics.
Absolutely.
He's crazy.
But here's the thing.
I keep warning them.
How is it that the electorate, and we've got to challenge ourselves, how is it that we can curse out our favorite team for their non-performance, but we don't have issues, or we have issues with stepping up and critiquing our political folks?
And also for y'all black folks who all y'all commenting on YouTube right now, if y'all only asking for a black agenda for the presidential candidate, and you ain't said the damn thing to say anything about your black mayor, or your black city council members, or your county commissioners, or your state reps, or your state senators, or your governors, don't come all of a sudden now. Don't come now.
Down ballot while your ward leader just gives you that little slip when you walk in. Don't even know your judges.
Don't all of a sudden start hollering black agenda.
Absolutely.
If your ass ain't been voting for district attorney.
Down ballot.
Don't be talking about criminal justice reform and Senator Harris if you ain't been checking the judges.
That's right.
Who you been voting for in your own city. See, some of y'all don't want to have that conversation, but we gonna go ahead and move on.
Well,
I'm just letting y'all know some of y'all don't want to have it. Final comment. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that people got to remember that a whole lot of black folks were pissed off with Hillary Clinton because of her criminal justice agenda. That kind of scar, black people aren't going to be forgiving of. There's a whole host of black.
No. We'll see.
Hold on.
Because they say jack about Joe Biden. It was his bill.
I'm about to say. And Joe Biden will get his comeuppance also.
He got to deal with it.
He's going to have to deal.
Okay.
All of them are going to have to deal with it. And a whole lot of people out there keep telling me, Roland, that they want to understand who the hell Cory Booker is.
Well, here's the
because
thing.
You got to remember, a whole lot of black folks don't know who he is.
But because, again, he was in Newark. He was the mayor.
Right.
He ran for United States Senator.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, look, guys, understand. The first debate's not going to be around until July or whatever. And so we're going to be asking these candid questions. People like, oh, Roland, why don't you ask Kamala this? Y'all, it was a 7-minute interview.
Right.
It was me, Tom, Simple, okay?
Right.
You ain't going to get more than 4 damn questions in 7 minutes.
If you're lucky.
Okay? But I can tell you that every person running, we're going to make the effort to do a sit-down one-on-one with them, and they choose not to sit down, well, then we're going to tell y'all. But those questions are going to get asked. All right, we go to our next story. One of the men who beat black activist DeAndre Harris in Charlottesville in December 2017 has been found guilty of the charge of malicious wounding. And now here's a video, y'all. All right, y'all. So the Washington Post had a story say ex-white supremacist. Well, when the hell he drop out?
Ex-white supremacist.
Right. When the hell he drop? When the hell he drop out? No, he's still a white supremacist.
Absolutely.
50-year-old Tyler Watkins Davis was allowed to go home to Florida to await sentencing. Ain't that some bullshit? Now, the former member of a white nationalist group, he's still white nationalist, is the 4th man convicted in the beating. He could get 18 months to 4 years in prison. No bail, just sent home.
See?
They don't happen to black people.
See?
No.
See?
You don't get sent home.
But that's Virginia.
Yeah.
All right, folks. In Columbus, Ohio, Amber Evans is still missing. Evans is a community organizer who went missing more than a week ago. Her abandoned car has been found, but no sign of Amber Evans. This is the latest police missing persons alert. Distraught, high-risk missing. CPD, that's Columbus Police Department, is searching for 28-year-old Amber Evans. She's a light-skinned black female. Her vehicle was discovered in the Scioto Mile area the evening of January 28, 2019, after a dispute with her boyfriend. CPD's missing persons unit, the number is 614-645-4280, and JBRAMMER at Columbus Poll. That's his email, columbuspolice.org. And so we want to keep the pressure up. We got to find this young woman, y'all, because his sister is an organizer, and she has been missing, and so we can't allow her to be out there. She's still alive. We got to be able to find this sister.
How long has she been missing?
She's been more than a week now. It's probably going about nine days or so now. And so we got to keep the pressure up.
This has happened to 2 of our.
Absolutely. So, folks, let's go to our HBCU School Today.
Mistakes are a fact of life. It is the response to the error that counts. Poet Nikki Giovanni.
All right, folks, HBCU Giving Day, our school is Alabama State University, founded in 1867, located in Montgomery, Alabama. Notable graduates include Ralph Abernathy, Tangi Miller, Ricky Smiley, Quentin Ross, and Lil Yachty. Now, y'all know, yes, Ricky Smiley, you can give, go to alasu.edu, alasu.edu. And yeah, Ricky Smiley, you always hear him talking about Alabama and Roll Tide. No, his ass went to Alabama State. So, Ricky, I'd appreciate it if you actually rep the actual school you went to and not the other school you didn't go to just because they're University of Alabama. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Don't be trying to rep the school you didn't go to.
Right.
Wear your Alabama State letters.
That's right.
Because you see me wearing Texas A&M letters, I ain't wearing some other school stuff. That's all I'm saying, Ricky Smiley. That's all I'm saying. All right, y'all. Calling all HBCU alumni, students, and leaders. Enter the Ford Motor... Y'all want to change that? Thank you very much. Enter the Ford Motor Company HBCU Mobility Challenge and win $25 grand for your school. Building on their long-term support of HBCUs, Ford is looking to improve mobility in HBCU communities through innovative solutions. The winning program will receive a grant of $25,000 to implement the proposal. The deadline, folks, is March 31st, 2019. Go to fgb.life, fgb.life for more information and to apply. Ford goes further in our community, so we want to thank them for being a partner of our show as well. Okay, we're going to close the show out with this here, y'all. So Matthew Whitaker, interim attorney general, was testified before Capitol Hill today. He was whining, complaining. And y'all want to see some whining? Hit play.
Congresswoman.
Can the clock be restored?
It was. I'm sorry, what was your... I don't know if your time's been restored or not.
Mr. Attorney General, we're not joking here. And your humor is not acceptable. Now, you are here because we have a constitutional duty to ask questions, and the Congress has the right to establish government rules. The rules are that you are here. So I need to ask the question, and I need to have my time restored so that you can behave appropriately. I will behave appropriately as a member of the Judiciary Committee.
Your ass got checked. What he said is, well, you know, your time's up.
The whole time.
He even did it to the chairman, Jerry Nathan, saying, well, you know, your 5 minutes up.
He was acting up.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was acting up.
That's pretty damn arrogant, Malik.
Disrespectful.
You don't listen. Don't go up against a black woman like that.
Hey!
Don't do that. It's going to be a problem. I mean, but here again, there's an arrogance amongst certain folk that we're seeing, right? And so I am fully okay with people getting checked. It's about time we have some contact on the field. This is a high contact sport.
I love all these sport analogies.
It is what it is.
But, you know, and also it's just the disrespect. The disrespect, he was disrespectful for Nadler, but he was disrespectful to a black woman in a humorous way. You know, it's all of this. This is why people wear blackface. It's all this denigrating behavior, you know, trying to put us in our places as they think we belong, which is nowhere, sitting as a congresswoman. Thank you, Sheila Jackson Lee. We love you, my sister. Keep on bringing it.
Derek? Derek, get your boy. Get your boy.
Right, please.
I didn't see it, so I need to see what happened.
All right, y'all. All right, we're going to end the show this way. Baseball great Frank Robinson has died at the age of 33, a 14-time All-Star. Wow. He was named MVP in both the American and National League. A big-time slugger. He was the first black manager in Major League Baseball history, first for the Cleveland Indians and then with the San Francisco Giants. He'd been in hospice care the last few months and was able to say goodbye to friends and family. Robinson was very active in the civil rights movement, and in 2005 was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President George W. Bush. And so certainly our thoughts all go out to Frank Robinson and his family. And also this week, Hank Aaron celebrated his, I think, his 85th birthday this week as well. And so we certainly want to say what's up to all of our people. Yeah, Derek.
President Trump tweeted out that Robinson was his man.
Right. And I'm sure Donald Trump think Frederick Douglass was by his bedside.
Right.
As he was reading the autobiography.
Yeah, precisely. Right.
He said that was his man.
Yeah, okay.
Just tell me what he said.
Yeah, okay, Candace.
I just tell you what he said on the tweet.
Yeah, okay. First of all, you know damn well he ain't seen that tweet out.
He did. He did send that tweet out.
No, he didn't.
Oh, you said somebody else did it out.
Just like his Black History Month tweet, you know he ain't sent it out.
Right.
You know any tweet that's coherent, he ain't sent out.
That was
All right, y'all.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Look, we got to go now. I want to thank our pal, Derek, Barbara, and Malik. Thanks a bunch. Be sure to support Roland Martin Unfiltered by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. I want y'all to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Yo, this is the only show like this. This is the only way we do it. And we keep it real, keep it black, keep it authentic. And so we want to speak to our issues, cover our concerns. So please join our Bring the Funk fan club. I'm going to try to get my voice back this weekend. Luckily, my coughing is subsiding. And do understand, y'all, I'm allergic to smoke. It normally takes anywhere from 3 to 5 weeks for all that to be out of the system. And so it's rough, but I could easily say I can't do the show this week, but no, we got to get through it. And so Monday, I'm going to be live from New York. Susan Taylor has a National Cares Mentoring Project. We'll be there. And then, of course, NBA All-Star Game is next week. And I'll be in Charlotte on Thursday and Friday as well. And so for everybody, have an absolutely great weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday. Holla. You want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered? YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. See that name right there? Roland Martin Unfiltered. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so when we go live, you'll know it. Hey fam, want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered? The blackest show on all of digital, cable, and broadcast. Check out our audio podcast. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. Press play. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.